A VU student has been arrested for filming inappropriate videos in a men's restroom in Wernberg Hall.
Annika Brown was elected student body president last Monday. We have an exclusive interview about her goals in the role.
And we're seeing cloudy yet warm conditions right now. We do have some storms off to our west. Coming up, I'll detail if those storms will make it here and the big cool down coming tomorrow. We have that and more. This edition of 15 News at 5 starts right now. Thank you for joining us on 15 News at 5. I'm Blake Harms.
And I'm Laura Muther.
We begin 15 at 5 tonight with breaking news. 4 students and 1 non-VU student were arrested by the Valparaiso Police Department and booked into the Porter County Jail yesterday morning on Class B misdemeanor charges of possession of marijuana. The students involved in this matter include Micah Bradford, a junior on the men's basketball team, and Malik McMillan, a sophomore on the men's basketball team. The other students are Nalia Bush and Isaac Roseborough. The non-VU student was Darius Ham of Chicago, Illinois. While on patrol, Valparaiso Police Department officer John Nupnow was traveling northbound on College Avenue, approaching the intersection of Brown Street with his patrol vehicle, windows down, and smelled the odor of burnt marijuana in the air. Officer Nupnow parked his patrol vehicle and exited to further investigate. He advised dispatch of the findings, and Officer Tufel advised that he had received multiple complaints of marijuana use at 353 South College Avenue from a resident who resides there. The resident stated that the marijuana use was taking place on the back side of the residence in the storage units. Officer Nupnow walked to the rear of 353 South College Avenue, where he heard loud music and multiple people talking in the storage unit marked number 2. He put his nose to the seam of the door to the unit and could detect the overwhelming odor of burnt marijuana. Officer Nupnow waited for backup from Sergeant Allison, Officers Kobita, and Officer Kopel. They were walking up to make contact with the people inside the storage unit when Nalia Bush stepped outside the unit. All subjects were taken into custody without further incident. Isaac Roseborough has also been charged with a level 6 felony of identity deception and a B misdemeanor for false informing for reportedly giving officers his brother's name and date of birth. Officers did not learn of Isaac's true identity until his parents came to bail him out of the Porter County Jail. Isaac's father, Dwayne Roseborough, positively ID'd him as Isaac. Isaac then told the Porter County Jail staff that he has provided Valparaiso Police with his brother's name and date of birth. You can read the full police report by visiting our website at www.valpovutv.org. Also tonight, on Tuesday, April 16th, Valparaiso University Police Assistant Chief Chuck Garber sent out a written statement to all students regarding inappropriate filming in a men's bathroom in Wernberg Hall that occurred days earlier. VUPD identified the suspect as now former VU student Joshua Baker. Baker was arrested on April 10th on a preliminary charge of voyeurism. Although Baker allegedly used a handheld device, university officials have inspected all of the university residence hall bathrooms and no recording devices were found. As Garber stated, quote, Valparaiso University is steadfastly committed to the safety and wellness of our students. This incident is separate from and unrelated to the previous incident that occurred in Brant Hall. If you see any suspicious activity, please report suspicious persons or activities to your RA, RLC, or call VUPD immediately, end quote.
Incoming seniors Annika Brown and Mark Young won the student body presidential election last Monday. Brown will serve as president with Young as her VP for the 2019 to 2020 academic year. We weren't able to meet with Brown in person as she is studying abroad in Paris, France, but she sent us an exclusive campaign video. Take a look.
So I decided to run for student body president because during my 2.5 years of experience, I've learned a lot about how Senate functions and been able to see the ways in which Senate can improve. And so I really just wanted to be able to work on that to help Senate continue to develop and be even better for the next year. I'm most excited about being able to build new relationships with students, student organizations, and faculty, staff, and administration. I'm excited to be able to start new conversations on student issues and get more students engaged with Student Senate as a whole. Any goal that I take on is never done alone, so I'm really excited to work with Student Senate and work with the executive committee to help make our campus better and to make sure that all student issues are being addressed. So I actually found out about the results at 3 a.m. Because I'm currently studying in Paris, France. But I was really excited when I found out and just very grateful for everyone who showed support during the campaign and who voted on Election Day. I feel really grateful for all the relationships I've been able to develop during my time at Valpo, and I'm really excited for the next year.
Love, lead, and last. That's what Greek Life's newest edition pledges to bring to VU campus this fall. Earlier this semester, Valpo Greek Life officially announced Alpha Gamma Delta as VU's 7th sorority. Alpha Gamma Delta will begin its search for charter members this fall and will participate in the spring recruitment process. The new sorority will move into the currently unaffiliated sorority house at the start of the 2020-2021 academic year. Bid day for Alpha Gamma Delta will be Saturday, September 14th.
The SAFE office held their 18th annual VU Owns the Night event this past Wednesday. I dropped by to speak with SAFE advocates about the power behind the presentation.
SAFE is the Sexual Assault Awareness and Facilitative Education Office, and one of the things we are is we are advocates, so we advocate for students here and for safety.
I actually talked to Paula Dranger a good amount. She's come and met with our fraternity and given us presentations about sexual assault and prevention as, being a bystander and, how we can improve campus safety just by doing what we can if we go out and we see a situation. So through those presentations and just a relationship that I've built with her, it got us all really excited to come to this event, and we're really excited and thankful that we have someone like Paula Dranger here at Valpo.
It typically involves a march, and it involves talking about an important concept that we want to make sure is the message spread. So one of the messages we want to make sure we're spreading is that bystander intervention is so critical. We want a culture of respect across genders, but we want also for us to if we see something, say something so that we keep one another safe.
I would like to say overall to everyone on campus, just be aware of the role that you play as a student here and whatever social settings that you may put yourself in. There's one thing that we like to profess a lot, and that's Safe BAE, BAE standing for before anyone else. So always kind of keep that in mind wherever you are, and know that people around you, your peers, your friends, even people who you don't really know very well, are always your responsibility.
The event brought the Valpo community together under the common goal of promoting respect across genders.
Well, what goes best with a cup of tea? Cookies, cake, or female empowerment? The Office of Multicultural Programs and Women of Worth are having their 4th annual Women's Tea this Saturday, April 27th. The event is happening in Promenade West on the 1st floor from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. There will be presenters discussing the glass ceiling and what women have to do to break it. To register for this event, it's free. Go to http://women's, or you can contact janelle.love@valpo.edu.
Spring commencement is just around the corner. Are you ready? Here's what graduates need to do before the big day. It's last call for tickets if you want your guaranteed 6. Show up with your ID to the welcome desk to collect them. Every individual who attends commencement in the ARC will need a ticket. If you haven't picked up your cap and gown, now's the time to do so. After you receive a confirmation of the arrival email, head over to the bookstore to pick up your regalia. Graduates are also encouraged to submit video recording on how to pronounce their names. The Registrar's Office has sent out reminder emails and links to record and submit MP3 files. Good luck, graduates!
Well, we hope you had a happy holiday weekend. For this week's poll, we want to know what's the one thing you haven't done in Valpo that you'd like to experience before you graduate. Maybe it's A, visit a county line orchard with friends, B, check out the Popcorn Fest. C, have a beach day at the dunes. Or D, ring the victory bell. You can head on over to our Twitter page after the broadcast to cast your vote. The results will be announced next week. A trip to the dunes seems like a good idea today now that we've had some sunshine, but the clouds are taking back over here in Valpo. Take a look at our live cam out of KCH right now. You'll notice that we are seeing some cloudy conditions, but temperatures are awfully warm across the Chicagoland area right now. Right now, we're 78 degrees in Valparaiso, also 78 at O'Hare. Notice those tints of yellow off to the far western zone of our area. That's where some storms are moving in right now. Here's a look at regional temperatures. That cold spot in Rockford is because of some thunderstorms. Notice this huge cool down that's heading our way. That's not just from the storms. We will be significantly cooler tomorrow. Current radar shows those storms coming into the area right now. A stronger storm moving into DeKalb. No severe thunderstorm warnings in our DMA at this time, but if we zoom out a little bit more, you'll notice that there are a few warnings that these storms are popping up. The highest threat's going to be north of us here. Shouldn't see anything too strong. Coming up, I'll have a full look at that temperature forecast across Chicagoland.
Thanks, Blake. Political uproar is at an all-time high with the release of the Mueller report.
And we have a look into the tragedy that struck Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday. Stay with us.
What is passion? At Valpo, it's something that pours out of us uncontrollably. It's a late-night shot of caffeine, cramming for finals, a jam session with friends. It sees deep into space, turns big stuff into small potatoes, floats boats, and floods the senses. Passion is alive. It has a heartbeat, and it lives in you. How do we know? Because at Valpo, passion is who we are.
Well, I think that's all we need. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll be in touch.
Okay, this is it. Just shake his hand and walk out with your head held high. Don't mess this up. Thank you. Nailed it. Don't let a bad handshake get in the way of getting the job you want. Find out more at the Career Center.
The redacted Mueller report has been provided to Congress and the public, so what comes next? Members are in the midst of a 2-week recess, but political battles still continue. Some believe the nation needs to move on, yet others claim the fight is far from over. Stacey Cohen reports.
This Good Friday, bad feelings abound in the wake of the Mueller report release. The big question is, what's next? Some say it's time to move on, as the special counsel found the Trump campaign did not conspire with the Russians and offered no conclusion on obstruction of justice.
No new indictments, no sealed indictments, no collusion, no obstruction. The Trump campaign and the Trump administration completely complied with everything.
House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler disagrees. Less than 24 hours after the report was made public, Nadler subpoenaed Attorney General William Barr for the unredacted version and all underlying evidence. Some Democrats slammed Barr for mischaracterizing Mueller's findings, particularly on obstruction of justice. Mueller said that Trump's efforts were unsuccessful, mainly because aides declined to carry out his orders.
Mueller totally kicks the ball over to Congress and says it's up to Congress to decide whether there was obstruction of justice, whether there were high crimes and misdemeanors. That's our constitutional role. We can't run away from it.
Barr is expected to testify May 1st. The committees are moving to bring Mueller in, too. Regardless of what the committee finds, House Democratic leadership warns against moving toward impeachment. Republican Chris Stewart offers this warning to Democrats.
I think the American people are exhausted by it. I think they're so tired of it. And I think they're handing the president the greatest gift they could give him in the 2020 election.
In Washington, I'm Stacey Cohen.
New video shows one of the explosions that rocked Sri Lanka Easter Sunday. This was at St. Anthony's Church in the country's capital, Colombo. A string of bomb blasts targeted at least 3 churches and 4 luxury hotels across the country, killing and injuring hundreds of people. The entire country is in a state of lockdown, with police posing an island-wide curfew. 7 people are under arrest following the attacks.
Horrible footage there. And on another note, exactly 20 years ago Saturday, 2 students shot and killed 13 people at Columbine High School. It was the first mass shooting at a school for the millennial generation. As that community honors those who died, Natasha Chen talks with survivors about their lives after the tragedy.
On a hilltop next to Columbine High School is a quiet space filled with 13 plaques naming the people who were killed on April 20th, 1999. The community of Littleton lit candles Friday night, standing by the friends they lost. Among them are people who could have died that day. Survivor Patrick Ireland, who was shot twice in the head.
Fortunate that that I'm still here and was able to, regain so much of my life back.
Frank DeAngelis was Columbine's principal at the time. He now dedicates his life to helping school shooting victims.
Whenever I go out and do presentations, I start each of my presentations with the picture of each of the kids and I read their names, and it gets me in a calming place that I know what I need to do.
Survivors like Will Beck have also been approached by Parkland, Florida students. He says, don't be afraid to live your life.
It was horrible. It dominated my life for a long, long time. But I still have a beautiful family, and I have a life that I was able to rebuild from that.
Having a choice of being a victor instead of a victim can be a great positive message.
In Littleton, Colorado, I'm Natasha Chen reporting.
Investigators believe the catastrophic 9-hour fire that engulfed Notre Dame Cathedral less than a week before Christianity's holiest day started at the center of the cathedral's roof. Omar Jimenez was in Paris on Easter Sunday. Take a look.
Easter in Paris this year means just a little bit more. On a day that for Christians is about resurrection, there maybe has never been a symbol more clear, nearly a week after a devastating fire that nearly brought down the entire Notre Dame Cathedral. It's an Easter in Paris against a backdrop no one could have imagined, one without Notre Dame. Cristobal Ochoa is a photographer and took these pictures as the iconic cathedral spire came crashing down.
I saw a lot of people crying. It was very contagious crying, because I wanted to cry too. Actually, I look around and I see people of all religions watching and feeling bad of the situation. It's not about a religion thing. It's about humans.
It's an impact that's been felt across the world, but especially in France, where President Emmanuel Macron hopes to rebuild in a matter of years. Meanwhile, the investigation into the fire's origins continues. Prosecutors have been looking at whether an electrical short circuit was to blame.
The building just got so small for a minute as the flames took over.
Jackie Gibson's pastry shop is right across the street from the cathedral.
The only time we ever go to church is Christmas and Easter, and we go to Notre Dame because that's our church.
And it's one that's still standing, as it has for hundreds of years. But one that almost burned down in a matter of hours. And moving forward, France is set to hold an international architectural design competition to redesign the spire that fell over the course of these flames. And even though the cathedral is still standing, it's also about making sure it is stable at the beginning of what is set to be a long road to restoration. Reporting from Paris, I'm Omar Jimenez.
Coming up after the break, I'll have your full forecast.
And we'll take a look at this week's Past Crusaders.
In a world where entertainment is at risk, one man is given a mission but he is about to face his biggest challenge yet. He will race against the clock and open doors to new possibilities that will save weekends as we know it.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for free movies.
Oh, I'll help you with that. Just go to movies.valpo.edu. They have all the best movies, including The Hobbit and 22 Jump Street.
Whoa, it's that easy?
It's that easy. Grab some popcorn, grab some buddies, and watch movies.valpo.edu's great selection.
Well, it started off as a beautiful day, still warm. We've seen some increase in cloudiness, but there are a few storms we're watching here that are working their way into northwest Indiana. There are a few cells in particular, one near Pontiac and then a few up near DeKalb. A few of these are severe warned. If we zoom out a little bit here, you'll notice we do have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. Granted, 2 of them are in Iowa, but we do have one that was just issued here to the southwest of DeKalb. There's also a smaller cell here near Pontiac that's worth watching in the next few hours as these storms generally track to the northeast. The greatest threat with these would be maybe some dime-size hail, some stronger winds with these storms. Not a guarantee we'll see anything. We're heading into a less favorable atmosphere as we progress through the evening, but it's certainly a possibility. Otherwise, temperatures are quite warm. We're 78 degrees here in Valpo, 79 in Gary. Mid-70s across the board, our warmest day of the spring so far. And looking regionally, besides that cold spot in Rockford where they've seen that storm just roll through, we're very warm across the entire Midwest. Notice the 24-hour temperature change is pretty drastic here off to our west. That's where we have a strong system that'll be dropping our temperatures down. As we head through future temperatures, you'll see there's that cold front that begins to bring our temperatures down. Come tomorrow morning through the afternoon, we could be sitting in the 50s, which is about 20 to 30 degrees colder than we are right now this afternoon. We'll have to watch that closely. We could dip down to the 30s come Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon, we begin to rebound into the 60s. There's that marginal risk of severe weather. We do have a warning that's pushing the edge of this, so still a chance we could see an isolated strong to severe storm in the region here this evening. Chances aren't great, but keep an eye in the sky for some lightning. Looking at your 7-day forecast, we'll see those falling temperatures throughout the day tomorrow. We head back up into the 70s come late this week. Our only chance of storms comes on Saturday and again on Monday. Otherwise, beautiful conditions across the board. Well, coming up, Laura, we'll take a look at Valparaiso and national sports. Stick with us.
Valparaiso University, where passion meets purpose.
The The baseball team hit 3 home runs during an 11-1, 7-inning win over Western Michigan on Tuesday afternoon. Blake Billinger, Sam Shaken, and Jeremy Dredge were the 3 home run hitters in the game that saw Valpo out-hit the Broncos 12-3. John Tiemann accumulated 12 strikeouts over 6 frames, the most by any Valpo pitcher in a single game since 2011, during an 8-0 shutout at SIUE Edwardsville in Friday's series opener. Blake Billinger launched 1 home run in the first game and 2 in the second game at SIU Edwardsville, both taking place Saturday. The Cougars won the opener 4-3 before claiming the nightcap, as well as 16-6 on Saturday. You can catch the baseball team back in action this Friday versus UNI, first pitch at 3 p.m. Carly Trepainer of the Valpo softball team played the tying and game-winning runs in the bottom of the 7th inning as Valpo won a 4-3 walk-off Wednesday over Western Michigan in non-conference action. Fast forward to Friday, Carly Trepainer waited on third in the MVC series opener versus Indiana State. Taylor Hirschbacher knocked a single through the infield right side, giving Valpo a 7-6 walk-off win. Jamie Lawton delivered a 3-run in the 6th inning of Saturday's doubleheader opener against Indiana State to give Valpo a 7-5 win in the first game of Saturday. The Sycamores scored 6 runs in the first inning of the nightcap on their win to a 9-1 win in the final. You can watch the softball team back in action Wednesday versus Loyola, first pitch at 3 p.m. The men's tennis team on Sunday closed out the regular season with a senior day victory on Saturday afternoon, defeating North Dakota 6-1. Valpo picked up wins on all 6 single courts, including a triumph by senior Chad Kissel, who was honored prior to the match for his collegiate accomplishments. Claire Serzwanka and Dao Saishuvan were both victorious in singles and doubles, but their efforts were not enough for the women's tennis team as they dropped a midweek match on Chicago State 5-2 on Wednesday. Missouri State defeated the women's tennis team in a 5-2 defeat during Saturday's home finale and final season regular match.
All right, thanks, Laura. After the break, we'll have a final look at your weather. Stick with us.
Spark a new idea. Spark a desire to learn. Spark a passion for exploring the field of STEM as we go beyond the final frontier and explore the latest in virtual reality and artificial intelligence. We will play with robots and maybe make a mess or two. For the show keeping you up to date on everything in the world of science, technology, and innovation, join us Friday evenings at 7 p.m. on VUTV Channel 15 or online at valpovutv.org/sparked.
There are a few thunderstorms marching across Illinois. A few of them are severe warned. We'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, we cool down significantly tomorrow. Otherwise, rebounding back up to near 70 degrees and plenty of sunshine. Just a few rain chances here in the coming week.
Thanks, Blake. Hey, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
This one's from Yahoo Answers. Anonymous asks, surely not everybody was kung fu fighting.
A question for the ages, isn't it?
Yep.
All right.
If you have a question for us, send it on our way to Facebook or Twitter, and we might answer it. You can send screenshots of forums, questions you've been asked, or questions that you have yourself. From all of us at VUTV, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next week on 15 News at 5.